The Detroit Lions coming on the road to Soldier Field here in Chicago, Illinois. A chance to get the first road win under head coach Dan Campbell, his second season at the helm, and the first chance to get a road win here in a very long time and go back-to-back W's. Detroit Lions, they took care of business. The final 31-30. You know what we do now.
Are we ready for
our... Ready?
Yeah, happy dance. This is our happy dance. Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. Don't gas me up. Don't gas me up, Lomas.
All right.
Okay, 31-30. Detroit Lions edging out those Chicago Bears. A missed extra point for the Bears down in crunch time helped this game from going into OT. But you had touchdowns today from DeAndre Swift, Jamaal Williams, Brock Wright, and DB Jeff Okudah, his first ever pick six, his second career interception. The defense, we were wondering if they would sustain that effort they had in Green Bay. Did they do it today, Lomas?
Oh, yes, they did. I was so proud of those guys out there. They came up with timely turnovers when they had to have them. They were making timely stops when they needed to do that. And it was just so impressive to see how they were able to kind of contain Justin. I know he had the one big run, but for the most part, I thought they did a pretty good job on the run, containing Montgomery and some of the other running backs. So, again, it was just an overall effort from this defense. Very good effort. And way to get that back-to-back, man. That was nice. That was nice.
So key for these Lions going into the rest of their season. You mentioned that they were able to contain quarterback Justin Fields.
Yes.
He did break out for a 67-yard touchdown run. That was right after Jeff Okudah, his former Buckeye teammate, picked him off for the touchdown. So they were able to stop the Chicago Bears in really critical times. A lot of red zone areas where they were clutch in. And then you had the offense that really came alive there in the fourth quarter, 21 points. What did you see out of that frame?
I mean, again, they stayed patient. And I thought, again, early in the game, Jarrett was getting some pressure on him. I thought he was a little rushed. But as the game went on, he got more and more comfortable. I think we were able to run the ball when we had to run it. I don't know how many total yards we had in the run game, but I think it was effective runs when we needed to. And the receivers, Danny, I was so impressed with our receivers. We've been dealing with injuries there, but those guys made sure that they found soft spots in the zone. They made a big target for Jarrett to get the ball to, and they caught the passes when they were given the opportunity. So it was just a great effort by our offense to really keep the ball moving and put points up when they had the opportunity.
All right, head coach Dan Campbell is at the podium now. Let's hear from him.
That was a good win. I was proud of our guys. They hung in there in the fourth quarter and found their way back. What is going on right here?
Overtime.
You don't want to know. It's going overtime. Man, I was proud of them. You know, it wasn't the cleanest game, but we did what we had to do there in the fourth. Man, our defense came up big. Desperately needed a takeaway. We get that, and we get points. Jeff makes a heck of a play. But then just the stops at the game. And then offensively, man, we needed the drive of our life. We got it, 91 yards, go all the way down and, score there. And then at the end of the game to just seal it, get a first down to seal it. I was proud of them, man. They just hung in there and they kept fighting. And, that was that team played well. They played hard. And but our guys responded. And that's a huge win, man. That's two. That's two back-to-back. That's a division win, and that's our first road win in 2 years. So those are all big things for us. So I was proud of them.
Just feel to get that first road win. So you guys have been on the other end, not finishing those games, so actually finish it and spoke a little bit. Just how much more do you respect that team?
Well, I think it's just that. I think it's the fact that, man, we found a way we got ourselves back in the game. We've gotten back in a lot of games, but we hadn't been able to finish them out. And we got ourselves back in the game and won it. And that more than anything else means everything to me, to this team. That's above on the road and all. It's, man, the fact that we battled our way back, and they stayed true to what they're being coached to do, and we made the plays that we had to win the game.
One of those plays was the 3rd and 8. Just talk about that play. Kennedy coming up huge at 44 yards and prompted that drive in general, but that play specifically as well.
Yeah, it was. It was big. Sane had kind of gotten over there on the sideline. We had to lose him for a minute there, and so TK is able to come in and help us out, and we don't miss a beat. It was big. We trust TK. He mentally knows all the positions. He's going to give everything he's got, and when his number was called, he showed up, and Goff found him and, made a huge play for us. It was big, but I would say that doesn't shock me. It doesn't surprise me. TK came up with a big play in a moment. That's who he is, He just kind of is there when needed, and that was big for us.
After everything your defense has been through this year, how proud were you of those guys in the fourth down stop they got there to see what
Listen, I'm very proud, because that's 2 weeks in a row now that our defense has come up huge. And look, man, that is a tough offense to play. And that quarterback now it's everything we talked about, and you can play perfect and play the game you want to play, and if you just let him out 4 plays, it'll kill you. It could be 4 touchdowns. So at the end of the day, man, we bottled him up enough, and forced him to have to stay in there and make some plays that's hard for him to do. He wants to get out of there and start moving around and break contain, eyes downfield, and so we did what we needed to do, and guys showed up. They stayed true to it. Even though we got hurt on a couple of plays, they stayed true to it. And so, listen, I'm proud of AG, and I'm proud of the defense. They played the game plan, and really we did. We played the game plan the way we wanted, other than a couple of plays he slipped out of there. So I'm very proud, man. If your defense can make plays for you and get the ball back when needed, you can win games that way for sure.
Did you recall what was going through your head on that fourth down play when Fields is dancing around and he slipped out of one tackle and another? What was just going through your mind on that play?
Yeah, just probably like y'all. I'm like, well, we've got him. Oh, no, we don't. We got him. No, we don't. We got him. No, and then it's like, oh man, just don't. You're just hoping, okay, yeah, you want him down, but you're also hoping he doesn't break out of the pocket. It's broken, but he's staying in there. It's a broken tackle, but you're keeping him kind of corralled in there, and we did that, and then come up with a big one there at the end. So.
How do you tackle a player like that? Like, how do you coach your guys to approach just the simple tactic of trying to take him down?
It's tough. It was something we preached all week. And we made a huge emphasis on it. Certainly, we don't have that type of player at our position to give them that scout look. Just the speed. The first play out of the gate, he runs the read run and he's gone for 25-30, and J.O.'s like, whoa. And it's, you run them, but to simulate that's hard. And so once you get in the flow of the game and you realize, look, this is real now. This is real speed. But we emphasized it, man. We worked on it, and it's a hard thing to do because you got to stay disciplined. But it's also, man, you have to. This play can go on 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and you'll get fatigued. You got to, you're wanting to just lunge at him at some point because your legs are burning. So you got to be very disciplined. And on the back end, they got to cover. You got to cover for a long time. So we emphasized it, we worked it, and we made more of those plays than the ones that hurt us. Look, that guy's going to get out on some. That's the bottom line. He's going to break out on some. He's too good. But I thought, all in all, we contained him enough to win the game.
Talking about that patience, with rushing all week, right, and cast the net and close it. But when you're in that last drive and you get 2 sacks in the final 3 plays, can you rush a little bit different? And if so, how much does that get those defensive linemen going to finally get after them? Are they going to have to sort of?
Yeah, well, look, there is a little bit. All in all, honestly, no, we didn't change necessarily what we did because they had 3 timeouts. So to them, they can be in normal function mode. The ball's in their court. They just need to get in field goal range, and so they can kind of run their offense there. They weren't forced to be in a 2-minute mode. I'm forced to throw it down the field. Now, once you get down in 4th down, but all in all, we stayed true to what we knew was going to, hopefully work against the guy, and it did.
I might not be able to tell without watching the tape, Dan, but it seemed like your guys individually made individual corrections to maybe their rush style. You mentioned J.O. getting beat early. He had some cleanup plays later. Bugs loses the sack on the touchdown. he's instrumental in kind of slowing his feet, keeping Fields in front of him on the interception. So just those individual corrections, learning the moment, how important are those to the victory?
Those are huge. They're huge. You know, when you can self-correct a little bit or take the coaching and immediately get to it. And I think a lot of it is too, there again, once you have that caliber, you're in real time with that caliber of athlete, now you can kind of gauge exactly what it is, you know. But it is huge, you know, and that's what good teams do. Good players, you know, they can adjust, they can adapt, and there again we did. We made some corrections. Those guys did, and we were better.
A win like this today, can this change the season around for you? Tough start, you know, but just the way these last 2 wins are coming in fashion. Do you feel like this can change the season around for you?
Well, I'm not even that far. Honestly, Eric, I'm just like, man, that's 2. And now we got to go to New York and play the Giants, who are winning a lot of games. They're playing good football. I've known Brian Daboll a long time, coached with him at Miami. So he's doing a heck of a job. So, you know, this halfback's a pretty exceptional player. But I know this, man, that's 2. You know, that's 2. We talked about, well, you got to get 1 to get to the next one. And we got 1, and then we got the next one. So now it's all about going back to work and seeing if we can stack 3 in a row together.
Like Justin and Sean last year. Seemed like there was a real concerted effort to get St. Brown involved in the offense early and often in this game. Was this something you identified in film that you needed more of him in this one?
Well, certainly we had enough in there for him. You know, we you know how we feel about Saint. He's a guy that's highly productive for us. You know, and he's feeling better too. You know, every week he's starting to feel better. But it's also like without him speaking, you could tell he wanted the ball. I mean, just the nature of the way he was playing, he was coming up with big plays, and it's hard not to continue to feed him the ball. So that's a credit to him. He showed up. I thought Goff threw the ball well today. You know, it wasn't perfect all the time, but man, I thought he was feeling it. I thought, you know, he made some pivotal throws when we absolutely need him. I thought he played quarterback for us very well. And there again, when we needed a huge drive, man, he made some monster plays in there. And just as a whole, I thought our team played very disciplined today, just overall. I mean, I think we ended up with 2 penalties there. But those were big, man, because, you know, the penalties really helped us, their penalties. So.
Last one.
Yeah, so obviously so many of the games in this league come down to a play or two, and you guys have been on the wrong side. A lot of those in the last couple of weeks. You've made them. Is there a taste that you can develop, a psychology that can sort of build in that way, and almost learning how to make those couple of plays inside these games? Yeah,
look, I think that this goes back to you know, you want to learn to win in close games, you win in close games, and that's 2 now. So, you know, once you've been in there and you start to figure out, you know, what you got to do and the focus and intensity and detail and the hustle and everything that it takes to finish out a game, you know, it's highly important. And now, you know, it's 2 games we've been in it and done what we needed to do. So I think it helps you because you learn from those things. But I think you learn from losing too. You know, you learn on what costs us or what not to do. So, look, that's 2, and man, we'll be on to the Giants.
Thanks, guys. We'll have Jeff.
You just heard from the head coach, Dan Campbell, here on Detroit Lions Live postgame show presented by MGM Grand Detroit. Coach, talking a little bit about wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown and what he was able to do here in this game. Over 100 receiving yards. It looked like he was back. We really haven't seen Amon-Ra 100% since week 3 when he was crushing a bunch of records. What'd you see out of him today?
Well, Danny, not only is his last name Brown, you know, we got something in cover. What can Brown do for you? But the guy is awesome. He always seems to be open. I mean, and again, to me, he's able to find those soft spots in the defense. He's able to be where he needs to be at. And it's a trust factor. It has to be a trust factor with Jared Goff, with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And after the catch, I mean, he gets the yards after the catch. I don't know what the little fella can't do. He could block. I mean, I've seen him do it all. So he's just an ultimate weapon for us. So happy he's back. Hopefully he can stay healthy and keep producing the way he has been.
Amon-Ra St. Brown has to be the player of the game there with 10 10 receptions. He was also playing against his brother for the
Yeah.
Chicago Bears. So we know Dad had his split jersey on once again today. No matter what, they're walking away happy. But the Detroit Lions here going back-to-back wins. First win on the road for head coach Dan Campbell. Let's take a look at the final stats here today. You could guess it.
Yeah.
You could guess it. Chicago
Oh.
was able to get the edge on the rushing game for sure.
Right. I mean, and again, and just a couple of big plays. Like I said, I thought the Lions were pretty solid all day. This Justin Fields long run, that hurt us. But other than that, I just thought they were pretty solid all day long. So, again, the defense is doing what they have to do. We got us a turnover, a pick 6 today. So they scored on the defensive side of the ball. The offense moved the ball when they had to move it, ate up first downs, kept Justin Fields on the sideline, and scored when they had the opportunity. So I don't know how much more you can ask, but that was a good start. I love today.
Right. Chicago penalties really shot themselves in the foot
Yes.
in the first half, and they didn't let up in the second half either. Detroit was able to take advantage of most of that.
Right, and think about it, Dan. Normally, that's us shooting ourselves in the foot, but I thought we did a great job. Only 2 penalties all day long, and you could see what those penalties do, how they could stop drives and halt your momentum. So, great job of the guys being disciplined all day long and forcing Chicago into some of those penalties that they had.
Now you guys get to take a look at the final stats, and Dan Campbell saying Jared Goff was pretty decent for the most part today. Really in rhythm there in the first half, making those throwing plays when they needed to because the run game was not all there. So you saw some really good production from him on that end. Penalties, of course, were a big one. That turnover, though, from Jeff Okudah had to have been just the biggest momentum swinger of the game.
It was, Danny, and like you said, momentum. That's what that did. Anytime the defense has scored points, as an offense, man, you're so excited. I mean, again, they go out, they put points up on the board for you, and that's an explosive, especially with the way Justin Fields has been playing over these last couple of weeks. That was a great job of them really containing him other than the one big run that we talked about a little earlier.
Not only did Chicago make adjustments with their quarterback, Justin Fields, to really fit his style over the last 3 weeks, and the coaching staff talked about it. Head coach Dan Campbell also saying that this team was able to make adjustments throughout the game. Is that just a really good sign of growth with this team?
Thank you. Yes, it is. Because, again, I had noticed when we came out at halftime in some of our previous games, we didn't make the necessary adjustments that we did today. They definitely made the adjustments that they needed to make to stay in that game and put themselves in position to win this game late. So that's great that now these guys are starting to receive the message that's being told to them in the locker room, but more importantly, going out on the field and executing it too.
Taking a look at Jeff Okudah's stats, 3rd year in the NFL, 2nd career interception coming today, 1 tackle today. That was it, which is a good thing. When you've got a mobile quarterback, that means he's not getting to Jeff Okudah, which is a better sign. I know Alex Anzalone was down there deep in coverage sometimes as well. But Jeff Okudah, we talk about this team as a growth. What about his growth as a player?
It's awesome. So think about it. I look at it this way. Really, half of the field, you don't really have to worry about it because Jeff has that half of the field covered. That's such what I want. It's so good for the defense when you could take away half of the field, and that's what a good shutdown cornerback can do. So I'm just glad to see he's taking strides each and every week, and he's continuing to get better and better.
I agree. No lapses from Jeff Okudah, just steady improvement from him. He is at the podium now. Let's hear from him.
It was honestly a crazy moment. Obviously, we were down 2 scores, and it was a play that, on the sideline we're saying, we got to get a turnover. One of you guys got to be the guys to change the course of this game. So I took a lot of pride in creating that play for our defense.
When you have a moment like that, maybe after a series of frustrations with just trying to keep Fields corralled, how much momentum did you think that moment generated for not just the defense but the entire team?
I think it definitely gave us a lot of energy, especially where that game was at. They had, built a lead. And, one thing I got to just commend our team was for our resiliency. We've been in that position earlier this year, and we haven't been able to capitalize. But today I didn't see anyone waver. We just looked at the challenge straight up, and we embraced it.
What does it mean for you guys? I mean, you gave up some plays, obviously, but to for the second straight week to be on the field as a defense and make the plays to win the game. Just how big is that for a young defense like yours moving forward?
I was just telling Mike that earlier. Like, it's crazy. The last 2 weeks, we've been in the position to win the game for our team. Hasn't been the offense on the field; it's been the defense, and we've made the stops. So I think that's something that you can put in the bank, and we know that we're capable of doing it. So going forward, I don't think there's any excuses of why it can't be done anymore.
Jeff, it looked like you. Sorry, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? You talked a little trash to Fields after that being Ohio State guy. How was that?
Honestly, I was so gassed that I had nothing to say. And then, unfortunately, he came back. I didn't realize how fast he's gotten since college. He's a fast guy now. But, we left with a dub, so that's all that matters.
He's gotten faster since college?
I don't even think he used to run in college. Now it's like he has some nice speed.
He's blowing up the league right now. What's it like trying to tackle him?
It's tough. I mean, it's tough. The way they block it up, it's not a lot of one-on-one opportunities to tackle him. You got to beat a block and then make a play on a guy who's really elusive. So they're doing a good job with that. I think we're going to watch the tape, and next time we play them, we'll have definitely more answers for them.
Can you speak to just the energy in the locker room right now? You guys had 5 losses in a row. It was a tough stretch. You've had 2 wins, as Tim mentioned. Defense kind of sealing the deal. What's the vibe like in the room right now?
It's really upbeat. One thing about our team that I noticed, we just definitely kept the faith. Everything the coach has been preaching this whole season. No matter what happened, no matter what our record indicated, guys just kept believing. And I think when you have a team like that has an unwavering belief in the things that are being preached from top to bottom, I think you'll get good results. Sometimes it's a lagging process, but hard work is undefeated.
Jeff, it looked like you pretty joyfully skipped when the clock kind of out around the field, celebrating a little bit. Is that the best you felt in your NFL time?
Honestly, I'm just enjoying this year. Been through a lot of things. My first 2 years had plenty of lows, so I don't take any of these moments for granted. Winning these games, being able to make plays, I don't take any of that for granted. I've seen the other side of it, so I'm enjoying every single moment because you never know when the moment will be over.
Good. Thank you, guys.
All right, you guys take care. God bless.
Tell Jared maybe.
That was Jeff Okudah, and he had the play of the game, like he mentioned. Lions down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, about 10 and a half minutes left on that scoreboard, and number 1 picks off number 1. Jeff Okudah getting it done against his former teammate from Ohio State, Justin Fields, like I mentioned, in the end zone. And Jeff Okudah already tweeting, Detroit, we're just built different there.
Yep.
I mean, how much of a momentum shifter was that? Because Coach Campbell talked so much about defensively, momentum is what is going to swing things.
Yes, and I love the one-on-one crime. I like
one-on-one
that.
crime,
I like
yes.
that. I like that. But momentum is so big, and that was such a big play that Jeff made. Again, us being down at that point, and to come up with not only the interception, Danny, but to get up and take it to the house. I mean, again, it was just huge. And I think that's what got the momentum started for our offense, kind of woke the team up a little bit. So that was just a big play for Jeff Okudah, in this game today.
I agree. That was the first pick 6 in the last 60 games for the Detroit Lions.
My goodness.
They're hard to come by, I guess.
I guess they are, Danny, but 60 games
60
without
games.
one? Wow.
It's a little crazy when you think about it. And Jeff Okudah's his first pick 6, but it just sounds weird saying that's only Okudah's second career interception, right?
I know, and you're right. That is
majority of last year. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
And so now you could just see when he's healthy, when he has himself in position, he's a difference maker, and that's what they wanted from the 3rd pick in the draft a couple of years ago. And he's turning this corner. So I mean, again, give him kudos and give that whole secondary kudos because they had injuries over there.
Yep.
These are young guys that are learning the system. And I thought they did a pretty good job today.
Yeah, sure thing. And then you had running back Jamaal Williams, who really was a game changer in this one. The run game was lagging in this one just a little bit. Jamaal Williams did lead the rush game and punched in that go-ahead touchdown score after Tom Kennedy secured the 40-plus gain in the air. I don't want to forget about Tom Kennedy.
That was huge. I'm glad you brought because that was huge.
Yes.
That really was. Tom Kennedy, great play that you came up with because, again, it got us in the field position that we needed so the offense could kind of pound the ball, get it close to the red zone and let Jamaal do what he needed to do. So it was just timely plays, big plays by guys that are stepping up to do it. So I don't have a lot to complain about. Right now I don't.
No.
I just don't. Yeah.
And Jamal's in his 6th year as a running back. You're a former offensive line. You know how much they get banged up.
Yes.
What he's been able to do in 6 years, he could come up on 1,000 yards in his career. That's huge.
That would be awesome for him. And he's a guy that runs hard, Danny, and he's a guy that can run between the tackles, but he's also a guy that can get outside if you need him to get outside. I love the way he blocks, so he provides extra protection for Jared when he's in there. So to me, he is the guy. He's the guy that gets us going on the offensive. Actually, he gets us going as a team.
I agree.
As a whole team, he is the guy.
I spoke with the guy, Jamaal Williams, post-game to get his reaction. Here you go. Jamaal, this offense was patient and sustainable when it needed to be and then urgent when it needed to be as well. 21 fourth-quarter points. How did you guys explode in that final frame?
Just knowing that we can do it. We know that we can get to it as long as we execute, play as a team. I feel like we started playing complementary football. So at the end of the game, that's just our effort of not giving up, playing all the way through the whistle. The last play, and this is what happened. We get a dub.
The offense is out here on the field to end the clock. The run game, it wasn't fully able to be in a go situation today. It was lagging a little bit there. How did you pull off this win?
Just grit. I'm grateful for my teammates for having that grit and effort and never not believing that we can win. Not believing that we can not win this game. So I'm just happy that everybody played through. We see what happens when we play as a team. We go all the way to the last whistle, and then we come out with a dub. So I'm just proud of my teammates. I'm proud of everything they went through from this week to this game, and now we just gonna keep it going. We just gotta keep it going. So I'm proud of how we came back, got 2 back-to-back wins, and that's how you start to get the tradition going. So
you told me you're laser focused this year. That touchdown puts you guys ahead. What was your mindset in that play?
Just get in there and do my job, execute, get in touchdown. So.
You mentioned back-to-back wins, first road game win here in a while. How does this win propel you guys the rest of the season?
It feels great. It was a goal, a milestone that we needed to get, and I'm glad that we finally got it. But now we're not satisfied with that. We got to keep going. We got more goals to hit, and we just take it a week at a time. So every week is a new challenge, but at the same time, we want to go out there and get the dub.
Thanks, Jamaal.
Thank you. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I just want to shout out to all my teammates, man. They work so hard. Y'all don't understand how hard they work. And I'm just grateful for my teammates and how hard they work and what we done. So it's a great team win. We got more to come.
Appreciate you. Jamaal making sure he shouted out all of his teammates after that. He almost grabbed the microphone from me. And you're right, he is the man for this entire team, injecting so much energy, not just into the offense, but everything in between. Okay, let's talk about his quarterback, Jared Goff. We mentioned he got things done when he needed to. He had a 73% completion rate here today. He knew the run game wasn't going to be what it needed to be.
Right.
So what was the pass game for this Detroit Lions team?
So again, I thought it was adequate. I thought Ben Johnson did a great job in the first half of putting guys in position to have success. I remember seeing Amon-Ra St. Brown line up at the slot position, and I seen him out wide. And, of course, we've seen them in the running back position. That's just such creativity from Ben Johnson to put these guys in different positions so the defense can't just gear in on where these guys are. So I thought he did a great job of putting them in the position they needed to be in. And I thought Jared did a great job of kind of leading this team. Started off a little slow, but, again, I thought he picked things up and finished well, too.
Goff, 19 of 26 on the day. He's standing by the podium now. Let's hear from him.
You guys are driving there. You need a long drive, 91 yards. Saint gets a little dinged up at the sideline. It's 3rd and 8, and Tom Kennedy 44 yards. Just talk about what this offense is about. That just it doesn't matter who. You just got to kind of find a way. And last few weeks you found a way.
Yeah, it was a great play call. Something we talked about all week was if we do get man coverage there,
how do we want to approach it? And there was a couple different ways, and we decided on that one. And I thought Tom ran a great route, man. He ran a great route, and game was somewhat on the line there, and found him open. He ran a great route, made a great play. Just one question. You're good. We only had one. You're good.
Give it Dan Campbell his first win.
Yeah.
I mean, how was that?
Fun.
Criticism, everything. Just how was he after the win and just to give him his first win?
It's fun to get a road win anytime. My first one here, and I know his first one here, so it makes that plane ride back a little bit more enjoyable. This is one where you wish the plane ride was a little bit longer, but we'll enjoy it for the next few hours and get back to work for New York next week.
Does it make it better that it was a complete team effort too?
Totally.
I mean, the defense having plays, you come back, the drive. Right. I mean, it just everybody it seemed like they had a hand on it, even the special teams.
No doubt.
Those extra points.
No doubt. And I think when Okudah made that play, it was kind of like, oh, we're back. We're here now, and there was momentum was going their way before that. And I also think teams that continually win tend to get breaks, or things go their way a little bit, and that happened today for us and both sides of the ball. And that's not usually on accident. Sometimes it happens when you're in the right place or doing the right thing. You get those breaks and you get those afforded to you.
Are you feeling that in the moment when some of those breaks are happening?
When some of when some of their penalties happen on defense, you think, okay, we got to capitalize on these, and we did. Again, they miss a PAT, stuff like that. And again, was that because they missed a PAT or because our edge rushers were doing what they're supposed to do? I don't know, but typically the teams that have a lot of wins, those things start going their way a little bit more than not.
You guys were so hot offensively, and the defense obviously took a lot of criticism early in the season. But for those young guys to be on the field at the end of a game to make a play to win the defense, just how big is that for that unit moving forward?
Huge. It's one thing to believe you can do it, and then it's another thing to do it and finish a game like that. And you talk about it so much, you talk about doing it, and you can only go so far until you actually do it. And now having that belief, having done it, having that carry us into the next few weeks will be huge for those guys.
You speak about St. Paul early on, saying how you guys were really targeting him early on in the game. I guess to get him back on track as well, was that conscious to get him early on?
Yeah.
How was you, just the thought process?
It was conscious for sure from Ben and I. Getting him in a rhythm, he's our best pass catcher, certainly, and getting him in a rhythm and making sure he's feeling it a little bit, is important. And I think Ben did a great job with our plan this week. It was my favorite plan of the year, and it was really well done.
I don't know if you know this or not, but now.
You just heard from quarterback Jared Goff. You can see his full press conference on DetroitLions.com. Lomas, New York Giants are on the clock next week. Detroit heading back onto the road.
Absolutely.
Your first thoughts when you think of that matchup?
Going back to the Meadowlands, but we're going to kick some butt, Danny. I feel good right now. 2 victories behind us right now. Defense is playing a lot better. Offense is still continuing to do what they have to do. Feel something great.
Ooh, okay. They're going to need all the momentum going into those Giants who are having one heck of a season so far under Coach Dabble. Okay, for Lomas Brown, I'm Danny Rogers. This is the Detroit Lions postgame show presented by MGM Grand Detroit. We will see you in New Jersey next week. See ya.